Now, as promised, I'll come to the derivation of this method. Now, this method will require fundamentals of linear algebra, including eigenvalues, eigenvectors. So it might be a stretch for you. Now, for this proof, we'll start building by first element, and we'll prove that composition is matrix multiplication. So if we have, say, phi x, which is ax plus b upon cx plus d, and we have another function, say psi x, and it is px plus q upon rx plus s, then we can write this composition phi of psi x will be a psi x plus b upon c psi x plus d, or a px plus q upon rx plus s plus b upon c px plus q upon rx plus s plus d. Now we can write this as ap plus brx plus aq plus bs upon cp plus drx plus cq plus d into s. Now, if we look at these new coefficients, and if we consider this a, b, c, d, p, q, r, s, then if we multiply them, it will be ap plus br, aq plus bs, cp plus dr, and cq plus ds, which exactly is this coefficient matrix on the right hand side. So essentially, composition of Mobius map, it is nothing but it is matrix multiplication. So if composition is matrix multiplication, then this phi n map, it corresponds to this matrix m to the power n, where m is AB, CD. Now if phi n has order n, then it would imply this m to the power n will be some lambda into I, where lambda is non-zero scalar. Now we know that for this matrix, its characteristic equation, it is given by lambda square minus trace of m into lambda plus determinant of m equals 0. So we can write this as lambda square minus tau lambda plus delta equals to 0. Now tau in this case is a plus d, and delta is ad minus bc, and we have taken lambda as unequal to 0. Now this characteristic equation has two eigenvalues, lambda 1 and lambda 2, and since lambda 1 into lambda 2 is equal to delta, which is unequal to 0, so both these eigenvalues, they are non-zero, and its discriminant is tau square minus 4 delta. Now we'll consider this first case when it has unequal roots. So tau square minus 4 delta, it is unequal to 0. So it will have two distinct eigenvalues, lambda 1 and lambda 2, and we can write this matrix M as P, D, P inverse, where D is this diagonal matrix lambda 1 0 and 0 lambda 2. Now we can write m to the power n as P, D, P inverse into PD P inverse, PD P inverse, and here let us say this discriminant is say D dash, and let's not confuse with D and D dash. D dash is your discriminant, whereas this D is diagonal matrix containing eigenvalues. Now P inverse into P is I, so it'll be this P D to the power n P inverse. Now we already know if phi has an order n, then this phi n x will be x, which implies this m to the power n will be some mu I, where mu is any constant which is non-zero. So we can write this as mu I equals P d to the power n P inverse, or mu P is P into d to the power n. Now this D is diagonal matrix, therefore d to the power n will be simply lambda 1 to the power n 0, 0 and lambda 2 to the power n. So by direct comparison we can write lambda 1 to the power n must be equal to lambda 2 to the power n, and it will be equal to mu. And from this we can write lambda 1 upon lambda 2 to the power n will be equal to 1. So it means this transformation will be of finite order when lambda 1 and lambda 2 they are nth roots of unity. And say they are omega n. Now since lambda 1 upon lambda 2 is nth root of unity, mod of lambda 1 upon lambda 2, it is equal to 1. That is mod of lambda 1 will be equal to mod of lambda 2. And we know lambda 1 into lambda 2, it is delta. From here we can write mod of lambda 1 will be equal to under root delta. Now when delta is greater than 0, we can write lambda 1 as under root delta e to the power iota theta, and lambda 2 as under root delta e to the power minus iota theta. Now tau is lambda 1 plus lambda 2, so it will be this 2 under root lambda cos theta, and from here we can write tau square upon delta will be 4 cos square theta. Now we know this ratio lambda upon lambda 2, it is equal to 1. That is, this ratio is nth root of unity. So if we write lambda 1 upon lambda 2 will be e to the power iota 2 theta, and it will be equal to e to the power iota 2 pi by n, or simply your theta will be pi by n. So from here we'll get this result, delta square upon delta will be 4 cos square pi by n. Now we know that this value will always be less than 4 for any integer n. So this tau square upon delta, it can take the values from 0 to 4, 0 included and 4 not included. Now we can complete our table. So when n is 2, that is when order is 2, tau square upon delta will be cos 90. So its value will be 0. When order is 3, tau square upon delta will be 4 cos square pi by 3, and cos 60 is 1. When n is 4, we can write tau square by delta will be 4 cos square pi by 4 will be 2. And we did not discuss this case, but we can also take n equals 5, and then it will be tau square by delta equals 4 cos square pi by 5. Now this is 4, and this is cos 36, and cos 36 is root 5 plus 1 by 4 whole square. So it will be 5 plus 1, 6 plus 2 root 5 by 4, and it will be 3 plus under root 5 by 2. So if tau square upon delta is 3 plus root 5 by 2, then its order is 5. And if n is 6, we'll get tau square upon delta is 4 cos square pi by 6, and then it'll be simply 3. So this is where our result has come from. And since this tau square upon delta is 4 cos square pi by n, its value must lie between 0 and 4. So outside of this value, we are never going to have a finite order.